Do you still remember that very first moment you stepped off the plane into a country that wasn't home yet? The air smelled different, the sky felt colder, even the lights seemed too bright. But inside your heart, everything felt dim. People rushed past you, moving quickly, everyone with a purpose, and there you stood. Hands gripping your suitcase, eyes scanning for something familiar, in a sea of unfamiliar faces. You smiled softly, trying to be brave, and whispered to yourself, "This is it, the first page of a new chapter." But deep down, there was a lump in your throat, a quiet ache you couldn't quite name. Those first days in a new land, everything felt strange but also magical. Some call it the honeymoon phase. Everything felt exciting. The supermarkets full of new products, the streets so clean, the snow like a painting, the locals seemed polite, children laughed in a language you didn't know, and you told yourself, "I'm lucky to live in a place like this." But then, time passed, the newness started to wear off, the beauty began to feel distant. You realized you didn't understand everything people were saying. You didn't know how to use the bank machine, how to make a doctor's appointment, how to fill out a form. You spoke the language sort of, but they didn't understand. And even when you smiled, inside, you just wanted to cry. You called home, but only shared the parts that sounded fine. The rest, you kept to yourself. You carried that loneliness quietly, not because no one was around, but because no one really understood what it felt like to be you. You were entering what they call culture shock. The little things from your homeland, the ways you greeted people, the way you cooked, the way you showed love suddenly, none of it made sense here. You felt misunderstood or ignored. So you pulled back, go to work, then go home, buy groceries, then go home. You stopped asking, you stopped sharing, you existed, but you didn't feel like you were living. There were nights you couldn't sleep, not because of jet lag, but because your soul hadn't found a place to rest. You wondered, did I make a mistake coming here? Maybe I'm not strong enough. Maybe God has forgotten me. And yet, in the middle of that silence, a tiny light began to flicker. Maybe it was a kind word from a stranger, a hot cup of tea from a neighbor, a knowing look from someone who's walked this road before. Or maybe it was a verse that came back to your mind. "For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans to give you a future and a hope." Jeremiah 29:11. And you started learning, again, step by step, how to book an appointment on the phone, how to write a simple email in your second language, how to ask for help without feeling small. You were no longer just arrived, you were someone learning to walk again. And slowly, you began to see, this isn't just about adjusting to a new country, it's about learning who you really are, that humans need more than shelter. We need a place where we belong, more than survival. We long for purpose, more than paperwork. We crave a place in someone's heart. You began asking deeper questions. Who am I in this new land? Does anyone really see me? Is there anyone who knows my name and speaks it with love? And if you're asking those questions now, please hear this. You are not alone. There are many who've walked this road before you, and there is one still waiting for you to realize that even in a strange land, you still have a place to come home to, the loving arms of your Father in heaven.
There comes a point when the honeymoon phase fades, the city lights no longer dazzle the same way, the snow no longer feels magical, even the coffee begins to taste lonely. This is the stage many immigrants quietly fall into, a phase no one warned us about. A quiet grief that doesn't look like tears but feels like tiredness in your bones. Like staring at a screen with no words to say, like going to sleep and not really resting. Some call it culture shock, some call it homesickness, psychologists call it adjustment fatigue. But whatever you name it, it hurts in ways words can't fully explain. You start missing things you never thought you'd miss, the noise of a familiar market, the smell of your mother's cooking, the effortless way you once belonged. Even the annoying parts of home start to seem comforting. But what makes it harder is that on the outside, you're doing fine. You've got papers. You've got a job. You've got a place to live. But inside, you feel like a stranger. Even to yourself, and yet, you keep going. You learn to nod, smile, and say I'm good when asked. You learn to do your taxes, call customer service, fill out forms. You carry burdens that no one sees, the pressure to succeed, to send money home, to prove it was all worth it. And sometimes, late at night, you ask yourself, is this the life I came here for? Is this what I left everything behind for? Is this who I'm meant to be? You see, this journey is not just about adapting to a new country, it's about discovering something deeper, your sense of identity, purpose, and belonging. Psychology tells us that human beings have a core need to belong. Maslow called it a fundamental part of our well-being. Right after safety and food, without it, we wither on the inside. No matter how much success we seem to have on paper, philosophy tells us we're always searching for meaning, for truth, for something beyond ourselves. Kierkegaard once said, "The greatest despair is to not know who you are and to live as someone else." Immigration, in many ways, forces you to live as someone else. You speak a borrowed language, follow foreign customs, you try to fit in so well that one day you can't even remember who you used to be. But here's the beautiful, painful truth: losing who you were can become the path to finding who you truly are, not just as a citizen of a new land, but as a soul designed for something eternal. There is a deeper home, a true identity, a place that no culture, no passport, no language can fully define, a place where you don't need to prove yourself, where you are already known, already loved. That place is in the heart of God. You may not realize this, but one of the very first people God ever called in the Bible was an immigrant. His name was Abraham. God told him, "Leave your country, your people, and your father's household, and go to the land I will show you." Genesis 12:1. No map. No job offer, no guarantee, just our promise. A promise that God would go with him. That Abraham would not walk alone. Abraham obeyed. He left his homeland behind and began a journey that changed history. Not because he had it all figured out, but because he trusted who was guiding him. Maybe your story isn't that different. Maybe you left your country with hopes and fears too. Maybe you didn't know where life would take you, but something inside you whispered, "Go." And if you've been wondering, did God see me when I packed up everything and left? Does he understand what I've been through? Then know this: yes, he sees. He understands. He has walked that road himself. Because Jesus, the Son of God, was also an immigrant. When he was just a child, his family had to flee their country running from a murderous king. They became refugees in Egypt. They knew what it meant to live as strangers, to be afraid, to not belong. And even as an adult, Jesus said, "Foxes have holes and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head." Matthew 8:20. He knew what it felt like to be unwelcome, misunderstood, rejected. He knew what it meant to walk the earth with nowhere to call home. He knew the loneliness. He knew the longing. Which is why he understands you. Not just in theory, not just in theology, but in experience. And he doesn't just offer sympathy. He offers himself. "Come to me," he says, "all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28. Not just rest for your body, but rest for your soul. Not just a temporary break, but a deep, soul-level homecoming.
Maybe you've heard of God before. Maybe you grew up with some faith. Or maybe this is your first time ever thinking about him seriously. Wherever you are in your journey, just know this: you don't have to clean up your life first. You don't need perfect words, or perfect faith, or perfect understanding. You only need a willing heart. You can start right where you are, even in your pajamas, even in your kitchen, even in your loneliness. Just talk to God. Not with fancy language, just speak to him like you would to a trusted friend, or maybe the parent you've always longed to have. Here's a simple prayer you can whisper: "God, I'm tired. I've tried so hard to make this new life work. Sometimes I feel strong, but many times I feel lost. I carry so many worries about the future, my family, my identity. I don't even know what to say, but if you're real, if you see me, please come near. Show me who you are. Show me where I belong, and help me find rest in you. That's it. That's how faith begins. Not with certainty, but with surrender. Not with answers, but with honesty. And from there, things begin to change. Not always on the outside, but deep inside where the storms of fear and shame live. That's where peace starts to grow. And yes, you can take small, simple steps forward. You can read one psalm a day, just a few verses. Psalms are full of raw, honest prayers, exactly how many immigrants feel. You can pray short, spontaneous prayers during your day while washing dishes, walking to work, or sitting on a bus. You don't need special words. You just need to speak from your heart. You can find a local faith community, maybe a small group, a church, or even one trusted Christian friend. Faith is hard to grow alone, but together, healing becomes possible. You can keep a journal, not just to write your struggles, but to record moments of grace, small signs that God is walking with you. Even if it's just a kind smile from a stranger, or a moment of unexpected peace. Remember, you're not starting a religion. You're responding to an invitation. An invitation to walk with someone who sees every tear, who understands every hidden fear, and who still calls you, "My child, come home."
You thought you were just moving to a new country, looking for better opportunities, education, safety, a future for your children. But what if, beneath it all, you were being gently led on a journey of the soul? A journey not just from one land to another, but from one identity to another. From surviving to truly living. From being defined by your passport, your accent, your visa, to being defined by something eternal. Because your real home was never just a place on a map. It's not where you were born. It's not even where you feel comfortable. Your true home is the heart of God. The one who formed you in your mother's womb. Who saw you cross oceans? Who walked with you through interviews, tears, language classes, and long nights alone? The one who never left you, even when you weren't looking for him. And maybe now, you're beginning to feel it, that quiet pull inside, like a whisper saying, "Come home. I've been waiting for you." Not to shame you, not to judge you, but to embrace you. To hold your tired hands, your heavy heart, your hidden wounds. And to tell you gently, firmly, truly, "You are mine. I have never stopped loving you. You were never invisible to me." There is a kind of peace this world cannot give. Not even in the safest countries. Not even in the best immigration status. Not even with a perfect job or house or education. that peace comes only from one place, one person: Jesus. He is not far away. He's right here, right now. He knocks at the door of your heart. He whispers into the silence. He waits for you, patiently, lovingly, to say, yes. I want to come home. This is the journey home. Not just to a country, but to a Savior. Not just to a new life on paper, but to new life in your soul.
You've made it through so much, more than most people know. You've been brave in ways that don't make headlines. You've carried silent burdens with quiet strength. And maybe no one ever stopped to say this, so let me say it now: I see you. And even more than that, God sees you. He sees the late nights you stayed up, worried about rent. He sees the moments you wanted to give up, but didn't. He sees the way you smile even when your heart is tired, and He is not distant. He is not indifferent. He is not disappointed in you. He is delighted that you're still listening, that somewhere inside, your heart is still open, still curious, still hoping. So here's what I want you to remember, friend: you don't have to figure it all out today. Faith is not a race. Healing takes time. Belonging takes time. You don't have to walk alone. Reach out. Find one person who believes. Find a church that welcomes immigrants, that reflects God's love, not man's rules. Even online there are communities that will walk with you. You are allowed to rest. You don't have to earn God's love. You don't have to prove yourself. He already knows your worth. He already called you beloved. You are still becoming. You are not behind. You are not late. You are on time in God's story. And finally, whether you're in Canada, the US, Australia, Germany, South Korea, or anywhere else in this world, whether you're working 2 jobs, studying late into the night, or caring for little ones in a new land, please remember, you are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. You are part of a bigger story, a sacred, unfolding, beautiful story. And the one who wrote it is still writing your next chapter. So keep going. Keep praying. Keep showing up. And when it gets too hard, fall into His arms again. He is strong enough for all of you. You are deeply loved. You are wonderfully seen. And you, my friend, are already on your way home. May God bless you, keep you, and surround you with peace, now and always.
If these words touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who might also feel lost in a foreign land. Sometimes, just one click from you could bring light to a weary soul. Leave a comment below. 1. Where are you in your immigration journey? 2. What has been the hardest part for you? 3. Have you ever felt God near, even in the distance? We read every comment and will be praying for you. You are not alone. God is closer than you think. Thank you for being here and listening.